Welcome to 3000 Thieves TV. We're here with a very special guest to Melbourne, Adam from Coffee Anthology, and I'd just like to welcome you to Melbourne. And we're here at Kettle Black as well. Shout outs to the guy honking us. Everyone's excited.
Yeah.
So you've been in Melbourne for three days now.
Yeah, it's been 3 days, a couple more to go.
And you've been to, now I'm not going to try and name them all, but you've been to Padre, Industry, Patricia, Manchester Press, Brother Bababoodan, Wide Open Road, Code Black, Auction Rooms. You haven't been to Top Paddock, but you're here at Kettle Black.
Yeah,
and you've been to Axel. I have been stalking you. I've definitely been stalking you. That's your Instagram for you. You've been busy on the Instagram as well.
Mate,
it's easy to stalk.
Just gotta do it.
What's been the highlight? Has there been a highlight?
Well, it's been awesome. Like, you just think what cafe they are doing. What they set up, service, coffee. There's character in every single cafe. Like, it's awesome to know what people is doing. And it's great that you can pick out something that you can compare them with your cafe, that there's something that you haven't done. Maybe it's time
something for you can improve on?
Yeah, like it's time to correct ourselves. And it's something that, we think we've been doing great, people isn't, then we'll better keep it up. It's also good that we can explore our palate, so we're not being really stuck into one.
Into one kind of coffee?
Yeah, because like otherwise, if I'm being stuck into one kind of coffee, it's also now like it, but it might not be appeal to other customer base.
You have 3 coffee grinders going at any one time, so I feel like you're not somebody who's going to get stuck. You've got
and it's 3. Then we just got another one. Yeah, so it's like 4 grinder right now, which is just keeping the daily job fun.
When's the 5th coming?
I don't think my bar's got another more space. I think
you run out of room. I thought you were going to say you've run out of money, but you've run out of room. You physically run out of room.
Well, if the bar was big enough, I will consider putting another one.
What about a bigger shop?
Yeah, it's always in the plan. I wouldn't say no to that, but I guess you just gotta carefully talk about it and thought about it. Yeah.
Okay, but before we get more into your shop, of all the cafes you've been to, have you had a coffee at every single one?
Yeah, I had mainly espresso, and that's how I like it this day. Being barista, like I found myself not liking milk as much anymore.
Yeah, which is nearly all espressos?
Yeah.
Any filters?
I have a couple filter. Yeah.
Any cold drip?
Cold drip, I had 2. Yeah,
2.
I'm not really specially being a cold drip.
All about the espresso.
Yeah, it's more about espresso filter. But I guess I sometimes most of the cafe I went to, they are pretty flat out. And I do know, when they
takes time.
When you order a filter, they'll be like, oh man, another one. Yeah. So I try to just making sure I go there, don't create too much trouble, then I disappear.
I mean, that's nice. It's almost like a respect thing for everybody that you visited.
Yeah, because I feel like, if I'm super busy, someone comes to the shop, I'll really appreciate, they have a coffee, they like about it, and
then they head off.
Would love to have a chat when I have time, but, sometimes that's...
I've had a very, very long chat to you in your shop more than once.
Yep.
And I love that about it. Is the only reason that you've come to Melbourne to just check out cafes, or could you be secretly looking for a shop here for yourself?
Look, that's again, I wouldn't say no.
He's not saying no.
I'm not saying no to that. It might be, in a couple of years down the track, because it's always, this is like the place to be for.
There, you've heard it first. He's complimenting us.
Yeah, the place to be. And it's like, I wouldn't mind joining the competition. But I think right now I just need to be building myself in where I'm comfortable. And this is really a new market, new environment where it is. So I wouldn't say no, but it's still be a couple of years away.
In your cafe though now in Brisbane, you've got a Black Eagle, Victoria Adreno Black Eagle, and it's customized by Dan Specht.
Yep, it's pretty awesome.
And it's incredible. If you haven't seen it, you have to go on Specht's.
Check it out.
Instagram, Coffee Anthology's Instagram.
Have
it is
to follow
a very pretty machine.
Yeah.
How's it been treating you?
Oh, it's been awesome, mate. It's functionality-wise to produce, like it's the biggest task for a barista that it's hard to duplicate the same cup.
Every time, and especially when you're busy, there's always some time that you slip off and it might not be as good. So being able to monitor the
gravimetric, input output. It keeps the quality of a cup consistent. It's also speed up everything because I used to have a Strata and it's an awesome machine, but having to move cup scale side by side, it's really do slow you down. So I think it's an awesome machine for high volume. At the same time, if you want to have care onto it.
Very good. So if I'm going to say, and I am, not that I'm an expert on Brisbane coffee, but I'm going to say that you are the best cup of coffee in Brisbane. If I'm saying that, who is number 2?
Well, I wouldn't say who is number 2 or we are the best. I think, we are on there with everyone else. There's definitely been some awesome cafes.
I think you've set the bar very high.
I guess, everyone is trying to push the boundary, grow together so far in Brisbane. Obviously, a lot of people will be exploring around what's the option. It's good that everybody was sort of talking to each other. It's like, hey guys, there's been some awesome coffee out there. We explore it out. And there's a lot of more and more cafes in Brisbane are getting into multiple roaster. It's not being stuck in with one option. So everybody is sort of pushing the boundary together, and it's awesome.
Who are the best roasters in Brisbane at the moment?
That's kind of like a subjective.
Well, for you then.
For me, I personally prefer like lighter style roast. I guess to me, I wouldn't say just single one, but there's a couple of good ones. Like personally, like single guy, like Uncle Joe's. It's like my long mates, and I've always been in love with their filter coffee.
Yeah,
it's like
the Uncle Joe's filter is very, very special. Yeah, I've been ordering some down here as well.
Pretty good.
And I'm pretty spoiled for choice here, so it must be good if I keep ordering.
Yeah, for sure. It's the style of roast they have their own unique way of doing their thing.
Yeah, it is
and
definitely.
And I quite appreciate what they've been doing.
I remember last time I was in Brisbane, I sat in your cafe probably for half a day, and I watched you. You were quite busy in periods, like we were having a good chat.
Yeah.
You were quite busy in periods, and I remember people would come in, and I remember whether they were old or young, or whether they seemed to know a lot about coffee or they knew nothing. You just had the same approach. You just had like this really, and it just had to be passion. That you're passionate about what you were making, what you were putting out, and you were really patient with everybody. What I want to know is where you think that passion for you comes from.
I guess, for me, I don't start as a coffee drinker from the beginning. And I think for a lot of coffee drinkers, it's a way how their first impression about coffee it is. And if that first impression was not done well, they might not be liking it anymore. So I really think,
really important.
I want to really introduce them to coffee, not in a way it will be offensive. I'll be like, welcome them to a coffee, and this is what's available. And I'll try to talk through them, possibly without, without freak them out, being to know what they like.
Yeah.
And once they think that they are comfortable, then we'll give them something different.
Do you think your family was involved in your passion for coffee? Did you drink much coffee growing up?
I started drinking coffee, I would say quite, not as early as most of the kids. I would say I started drinking coffee when I first started university. Back in home in Taiwan, coffee was a roast bit darker than how it is here.
Generally,
in general, like it can be quite sharp, bitter. So it doesn't really trigger much of my interest until I started university in here. So it was really different, as well as I think Australia was awesome being you got so much connection to great coffee, as well as like dairy is really, really good. So I started drinking like a big Pha Huai to start, and it's really good.
Yeah.
So I sort of got more and more into it.
What was the first coffee or first cafe for you that really opened you up and changed your mind from that darker coffee in Taiwan to what was the first one here that really changed your mind?
First coffee that really changed my mind, I would say, it's about 6 years ago when Campbell's Coffee actually first started.
Yeah.
In Queensland. I thought it was that was pretty awesome. Yeah, and I was sort of got me more interest into coffee. Then about 3-4 years ago, Clean Skin, that got me into like the next stage, because Clean Skin was quite one of the early coffee places that actually had like a strata. So yeah, it was really amazed me like how coffee can be changed so much with ability of baristas. You
Yeah.
know, then I went visit Melbourne and I was like, dude, this city was awesome. Like there was so much difference.
Do you think Brisbane's coffee scene, because you're saying it's improving?
Yeah.
Do you think it's definitely it's all across the board? It's going in the right direction?
Yeah, for sure. Like
Do you think it's headed somewhere really great?
yeah, it's headed somewhere really great. I think, you know, as a Brisbane, you know, it's really good. It's a really good community base being on the coffee industry. Like everyone is really helpful to each other. Like, you know, we're talking to each other and, you know, leading hand, you know, and everyone is like buddies. Like
Yeah.
there's not much of, you know, like fights and things going on. It's not really a competition. It's about working and improving same industry.
What do you think is the best part of your job? And is it having weekends off? You're still not open weekends, are you?
We're open
have
on
been.
Saturday, but
Saturday.
I do get my weekend off. That's the need. Yeah. Best thing about my job, I think it's really good. I can try a lot of different coffee, which
Buy lots of
is
coffee?
buy a lot of different coffee. I can play around with different coffee. That's awesome.
And that's
yeah.
it? That's enough for you?
Yeah, like, you know, wake up to coffee and when you finish, sleep.
All right, so I've got some quick questions.
All right.
You don't think too much.
Okay.
Just go for it.
Okay.
Espresso or filter?
Espresso,
Piccolo or macchiato?
macchiato,
V60 or a Chemex?
V60.
Latte or cappuccino? It's testing him.
Oh, latte.
Latte. All right, so yes, I got some yes or no questions. Fruit in filter coffee.
Fruit.
Yeah, like fruit, pieces of fruit in a filter coffee.
Yeah, fine.
Soy milk and coffee.
No.
No. Food with coffee. Do you think it can always go well, or do you like to keep it separate?
I like it to keep it separate.
And yes or no decaf?
Two specific reasons, yes. But we don't serve decaf in our shop. Right? I think one thing we don't serve it because we can't master it. We can't do it well.
It's not a high enough level for you to serve it?
Well, you don't turn through enough of them to keep
To
it
perfect
consistent, to perfect it, to keep it consistent. If you're making one decaf every hour, I'm pretty sure your grind would be really out.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable treating my non-decaf drinker being the best possible I can, and yet my decaf drinker, they are being treated not being the equal. I just want to be everybody's same.
Has to
If
have
we
the
can't-
same experience.
Can't do it, then we just will be honest to people. It's like, man, we can't do it well, so we aren't doing it.
Okay, so this is my thank you.
Okay.
Back in the day, I was all about espressos, and I wanted nothing to do with filters.
Yeah.
And I had found you after a long week of drinking rubbish coffee in Brisbane, like just at home, and I found you through Cartel's Instagram, and I went to the shop and I had about 3 long blacks.
Yep.
And I had to go for a walk because I was all jittery, and I came back and I was like, I'm gonna have another one. And you were like, come on, man, you can't just have espressos all day.
Yeah, you can drink some filter, mate.
And so you insisted I have a filter, and I really didn't want to have it. And I think you even shouted me. You're like, if you don't like it,
Yeah, mate.
you don't have to pay for it. Like, just try it. There was so much passion in the way that you made me try it, because I was really against it. I thought, it's rubbish. It's not as rich. It's not as strong. The
Yep.
flavors are boring or whatever. And it really did open my eyes. And you were persistent. Like you stood there and you watched me drink it, and you like said, wait for it
I
to
was
cool.
pushing it.
Wait for it to cool down. All of that stuff.
Yep.
And so I've got to thank you, because I honestly think I'm filter over espresso now. Like
Awesome.
that's how much it's changed
Yep.
for me. Thanks very much for talking to us today.
Yep.
If you're in Brisbane, you have to check out Coffee Anthology. They're 126 Margaret Street in the CBD. Hopefully we'll see you in Brisbane soon.
Oh yeah, soon,
You'll have
mate.
to come and
Definitely.
we'll give you a latte art smackdown or something like that.
Yep. No cappuccino.
No cappuccinos. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.
I hope you enjoyed. For more coffee videos, click here to subscribe, or you could watch me stand here some more.